In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. That's why I've always been very, very proud of my position as king of all the stories ever written about large-scale black mob violence at sweet corn festivals. Done a couple of them. All right, but just to show you, even the king can learn something new every day. I thought there was only one sweet corn festival, and it took place in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, every year, called the St. Jude's Sweet Corn Festival. Little did I know there were dozens of these, including one lately in a little town called Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, where Friday night there was a large-scale episode of black mob violence, i.e., a couple of lovely ladies were fighting and all their friends joined in. Then they started attacking the cops. This is Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Now everybody in Sun Prairie wants to know, what happened to our town? And why have all of our other festivals been canceled?
The Sun Prairie Sweet Corn Festival is still going until midnight tonight, with more police officers patrolling than yesterday. Francisco Almanara has you covered tonight on how one fight last night impacted the family event today.
Saturday afternoon, the Sun Prairie Corn Fest was full of families having a good time and getting their fill of plenty of sweet corn. But that wasn't the case Friday night, as a fight between two teens got out of hand.
As we were arresting them, all their friends started to kind of surround our officers and were screaming and yelling, dropping a lot of profanities at our officers.
More than half a dozen Sun Prairie police officers were sent to the park to deal with the nearly 40 people making a scene. A viewer sent us this video of the aftermath as officers worked to disperse the crowd and calm the event down. But now Lieutenant Kevin Konopacki says police are making sure the same thing doesn't happen Saturday night.
We're going to really ramp up our enforcement tonight. We're going to bring in a couple additional officers from our late shift. And we're going to assign 4 more to the park tonight, and we're going to really saturate that midway. We're going to have a huge presence there.
For Lieutenant Konopacki, the corn and making good family memories are the most important parts of the Sweet Corn Festival. That's why he says it's not an over-exaggeration to have those extra patrols here tonight. And while there was no gun involved in the fight, the gun battle on the Beltline Friday and shootings all over the country recently has made them want to be ready for everything.
Yeah, that's always going to be in the back of your mind. You're always going to prepare for the worst case scenario, right? And then you go down, you ranch it down from there. So
at the end of the day, he wants people to come out and have a good time.
Serious? Chris Gansky hit record when she saw what was happening. 2 teen girls, 13 and 15, fighting while their friends watched.
It was horrible to see it because it's not right. You take your children to go and, celebrate the end of the summer, school starting again, and you have to deal with them seeing that.
In the video, you can see police jumping in quickly to break things up, which organizers were grateful for. They said this is the biggest disruption the Corn Festival has had, and they and police want people to know it's not okay.
It angered me that individuals come to an event, a family event like this, and create that type of situation when it's not necessary. It really is not necessary to behave that way.
Both the girls who fought were arrested for disturbing the peace. The 15-year-old tried to hit the officer arresting her, which added an extra charge of resisting arrest. No officers were injured.
Lots of discussion on the local Facebook page about what happened at the Sweet Corn Festival. Martin Redmond was reminding everybody what else the fellas and lovely ladies have ruined. He says Rhythm and Booms was shut down. Now that's one thing, not two things. So Rhythm and Booms was shut down and moved because of gang violence. Fitchburg Days were canceled because of gang violence. The Brat Fest closed early in 2017 because of gang violence. I did a story on that one. Gang members shot at each other at Shake the Lake. Did a story on that one. And now Cornfest has been affected by gang violence. It seems gangs are destroying all the local community events. Okay, so he's kind of saying gang violence. It's not really gang violence. It's just black mob violence. So why don't we pull our story on the St. Jude Sweet Corn Festival out of the archives? And yeah, be aware, this is not a repeat of what you just heard. This is actually a totally different story from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Whoa, looks like we've got some problems out in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, at a corn festival. This is not the first time we've ever heard of violence associated with corn in a large Midwestern state.
Stephen King's Children of the Corn.
Praise God! Praise the Lord!
Stephen King's Children of the Corn.
Reckless children. Wow. I think we better see what the local media has to say about this.
Cedar Rapids police say fights among dozens of juveniles forced the annual St. Jude Sweet Corn Festival to shut down early. Cedar Rapids police tell TV9 about 70 juveniles caused disturbances at the festival late last night. Police arrested 6 people during that incident, and they face charges ranging from disorderly conduct to assault on a police officer. The officer assaulted only suffered minor injuries. The Sweet Corn Festival released a statement on its Facebook page overnight saying it was in the best interest of the festival and everyone in attendance to close early. We are so sorry if this ruined your night. We're very thankful to all law enforcement for taking swift action. The festival will go on as scheduled today.
Well, it turns out we don't have to call Ghostbusters after all. Thanks to a news outfit out in Cedar Rapids called the Cedar Rapids Defender, we found out what really happened out there. It was really, long story short, it was really just an episode of black mob violence. Somewhere between 75 and 200 black people rampaging through the corn festival, defying police, starting fights, destroying property, assaulting the fair goers. Oh, and yeah, this is at least the 3rd year in a row the Sweet Corn Festival has been disrupted by violence, says the local alternative press there. Here's one account. There's lots of stories here. A police officer attempting to detain a teenage youth was subsequently ambushed by dozens of kids who kicked and stomped, beating him on the ground. The officer who was assaulted, luckily, suffered only minor injuries. They had detained 6 juveniles on charges of disorderly conduct and assault on a peace officer. About 150 teenagers were seen running towards the fighting as police fought back against the mob. The teens had been a disturbance all night, as there were reports of racial-motivated assaults and items being thrown at the police. The word Black Lives Matter came across the Cedar Rapids police scanner. One innocent victim was elbowed, stepped on, and kicked during the stampede. The Cedar Rapids Defender went on to remind us that the gang violence at Sweet Corn Festival mirrors what we saw happen at Hog Wild Days before escalating violence got the event shut down permanently. They shut down Hog Wild Days too in Cedar Rapids. Wow. Lots of folks from Cedar Rapids were very unhappy with this. They're trying to figure out what happened to their town. The one they grew up in. Kind of bucolic, safe, everybody was friendly. They took to Facebook to talk about it. Donna Hansen said she and her family went to the festival, the Sweet Corn Festival on Friday. She was shocked at how uncontrolled the teenagers were. At one point, our 10-year-old said she wanted to leave. She kept pointing out how poorly they were dressed. Overall, it was a good short trip to a festival of fun that I have attended for over 30 years. I think all the right thoughts are in place. A few ruin it for many. Here's Heather Glacken. My in-laws came from out of state to spend the weekend. We always plan it so they can come to the Sweet Corn Festival. We came later on Saturday, and it was a nightmare. There were so many people, kids that were just hanging out, standing around, not caring about their surroundings, not even riding rides or eating. I got elbowed, stepped on, tripped, and even kicked. Groups were bickering at each other the whole time, and don't even start me on the parking. It was a huge waste of time. We were all so disappointed, and everyone kept saying, this isn't the same as it was before. I thought the festival was supposed to attract families, not be a teenager crap fest. It was very unwelcoming, uncomfortable place to be. Here's Carol Kensett on Facebook. She said, my daughter's stroller, with her in it, got knocked over by some kids running and pushing each other Friday night. Luckily, I caught it before it went completely over and she was okay. I've never seen it like that before. Here's Julia Jordan. This has been unsafe for a long time. Our daughter got jumped there 6 years ago by a teenager she did not know. The doctor that checked her out said the boys were jumped there the year before and forced to give up their wallets. I complained about the security. It needed to be better. And, we'll never go back. It's time to do away with this unsafe environment. You guys ever met anybody from Iowa? I've been to Iowa. I like Iowa. I've met a lot of people from Iowa. Guess what? They're all very nice people.
Hey! Is this heaven? No. It's Iowa.
Now, just because someone is nice, it doesn't mean they're particularly smart. At least about certain things they need to be smart about. So let's take a look at some of the solutions that the crowd from the Sweet Corn Festival were proposing. Here's Benjamin Danielson. Having the priest here's what he says. Having the priest in his collar and clerical garb would be a nice touch. It's good to see the priest visible, especially another authority figure. Then Byron Flint chimes in. Perhaps a few nuns around as well. Andrea Lamont, another Sweet Corn Festival grower, has a good idea and a terrible observation. The good idea is, let's just let people in over 18. Oops, I think I'm giving her too much credit. I thought she was the one of the people who said, let's start charging admission. There's no admission to this festival. Charging admission will solve 80% of the problems at 80% of the places. Anyway, but here's where Andrea goes off the track. From what I see on a daily basis, it doesn't matter their race! Exclamation point. Congratulations, Andrea. You have now received an honorary membership in the world's largest coincidence society. So we have 100 to 200 black people rampaging through your neighborhood, through your festival, attacking your friends, attacking your family's friends. And all you can do is look at it and say it's a big coincidence that everybody there was black. Oh yeah, and it was happened the year before, the year before that, happened the year before that. And it happened at the Hog Wild Festival. Yeah, come to think of it, they were black too. I guess that's just a coincidence.
Please, sir. I want some more.
Wow, you made it this far? I'm officially declaring you, too, an expert on black mob violence at Sweet Corn Festivals throughout the country, how often it happens, how little people want to talk about it. Because talking about black mob violence at Sweet Corn Festivals in places no one had ever heard of before, that makes the black kids angry.
Make the black kids angry.